Blitz was even saying at the start that Tusk is the counter to these like strength laners, and I even think in the mid to late game that tag team is pretty insane in terms of bursting down Timbersaw even through his high amounts of armor. With the tag team being physical, I think they're going to buy an early Spirit Vessel either on the Prophet or the Pangolier, and they're just going to all in this Timbersaw in the mid game. And my concern is that he's kind of like this frontline body for his team, and if he's feeds a couple times between the 10 to like 15 minute mark, that's going to be a real, like they're just going to constrict the map afterwards for Secret. He's going to get his Radiance on Wraith King. But on the other hand, if Centaur and Timbersaw both get off to a very good start, I don't think Wraith King's going to have the space he needs to farm. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Coddle Pango. If you've never seen that combo, the double swash, pretty insane in the mid game. Usually I think he's going to go Javelin for the defusal. It looks like he's queuing up the Javelin already. Just max out that damage. You don't need any mid-game mana items because of it. Really enables the Pangolier.
Yeah, you mentioned the Spirit Vessel, and Yapsor not wasting any time. Already has it queued up. His Tusk is like,
okay.
I know what I'm getting. It won't be maybe the fastest, like you were mentioning, if he's getting it instead of Zai's Prophet. And then the Pango, of course, wanting to go for those damage items with the Chakra Magic going to be prioritized on him. So mid matchups, though, maybe not going to be the easiest for Nisha. He's going to be tested here with the Timbersaw in a 1v1 matchup.
It's going to be a bit rough, but at the end of the day, he's an agility hero, so the Whirling Death isn't nearly as painful for him as it is for others, but he can't really do anything to Tanner. Tanner's almost certainly going to absolutely free farm here, and that's kind of what Pango does, though, and that's why you 9th pick him mid, is most of the time he doesn't really win, but most of his matchups aren't that bad either.
Yeah. Well, I'm pulling some waves here. Puppy's going to push him back a little bit. One of the things Coddle is definitely good at is doing in some extra harass for these wave cutters. And back in the top lane, you've got Zai with the Tusk supporting his Nature's Prophet. Pretty strong dual lane, it feels like, for Team Secret. If Gyro or Grimstroke ever steps out of position, an Ice Shards block with tag team will spell a quick death.
Tanner's running at Nisha mid, being pretty aggressive underneath tower. But like I said, Nisha being an agility hero does not get hurt nearly as much by that Whirling Death, so any strength hero would definitely be dead at this point.
Oh, he's going for the kill. Oh. He gets the point in Timber Chain. Normally, you would see a second point of reactive there.
I like that a lot.
Tanner thought he had a kill, immediately skilled it the second he hit level 3.
Even then, he's zoning Nisha away from all of those creeps and the next wave, most likely.
Yeah, Nisha's trying to cut around, but Tanner again.
Little mind games going on. Oh, the jukes!
The tower hit also finds the Timbersaw, so a bit more damage.
There's no more trees, and he even Coiling Bladed another one of them.
Nisha's
the meta of the Timbersaw mid lane.
And now he gets back to his side of the mid lane, looking to do whatever he can to stay as far away as possible.
This is honestly just some high-level stuff from both of them. I like this a lot. Tanner making a real heads-up call to go for that Timber Chain, and even though he didn't get the kill, he missed out on about 4 CS.
Yep. Top lane. It's going to be a snowball attempt to save Zai, but with the rotation from Milan, I believe he would have TP'd up here to get this kill. It is going to be a first blood going NIP's way. So Earth Spirit says, I've done my jump bottom, I pulled away, pulled the lane back for now, I can go set up a kill elsewhere on the map. We'll see how Centaur does now that he's been left alone. Once those wave pools start coming in and the lane is not so close to his tower, this lane gets a whole lot more difficult. You can see Martu immediately throws out a stun, runs at him with the skeletons, not afraid to kind of feed those away, knowing that Centaur being alone means you need to bully him out of this lane.
Yeah, they cost about, or they give 5 gold and 5 XP, so who gives a crap, as Yapsor does go down in the top lane. And Blizzy might be also receiving the same fate, but if not, he does have the Ring of Tarask, but I don't think that's enough to sustain. Either way, he is getting bullied away. So this rotation to top is getting kills, but it is definitely costing them. It is not free.
Do you think it? Do you like it though? Do you think it's worth it for NIP? Like
it's
the
close.
Right kind of move?
It's close because Gyro, I think, may struggle against the combination of the lane that he's dealing with. So giving him a bit of that early bolster might be exactly what they need because his farm's also important. He's not necessarily your mid-game pace setter, but Gyro is a carry that's vulnerable to just getting off to a really rough start, and it's usually dictated by the time he's level 3 or 4. And he is going for the maxed flat cannon build as opposed to going for the rocket barrage. Not very reliable. When you can't exactly man up against the Tusk, you're probably going to take more damage from that tag team than you are dishing out. And also against the Treants, you're going to be separating all that damage onto split targets. So I actually like this adjustment from Dahak. Much lower cooldown, and going from level 1 to 2 gives you that extra 50% attacks there.
Gamble on the rune. Pangolier is going to get there first, but it spawns top. And
look how many supports are focused on these runes.
Yeah, they're holding it. They're not picking it up.
What is it? Oh, it's a double damage. I couldn't even see it.
Yeah. Milan ends up picking it up. Nice dodge by Nisha. Doesn't get hit by the Timber Chain damage, and Tanner just constantly in Nisha's face, as you'd expect from a Timbersaw in the mid lane. But Nisha still getting his own, has 18 last hits already, doing Timber Chain forward. Doesn't hit him with the damage once again. Tanner just can't quite catch up to Nisha, who fully understands how to play this
Timbersaw.
Yep. I think he's got this kill here. Yep, he's going to Timber Chain himself through with the Inkswell. He more than had enough for that one.
I really like what NIP is doing. They're really bringing the heat, but you're seeing the kills. They are costing them something. We already mentioned that, but Wraith King, absolutely the king of the charts in terms of the CS. Up by 10 CS to anyone else in the game, and Blizzy is receiving the suffering pain of what his team is doing on the map. So that's why you see a 3-0 kill score, but yet still a net worth lead for the Radiant.
Bounty runes coming into play. It's going to be 3 of them going the way of NIP. Very active on the map, as you'd like to see when you have an Earth Spirit on your team, but Milan's got to be a little bit careful. He's being chased around by Yapsor. He's going to make sure he gets him well and truly away from Team Secret's top and mid lanes. And Center, even though he had a rough time, he was clever about it. He started cutting behind the waves, knowing that Coddle is not going to be able to kind of really pose a kill threat.
330 damage crit coming out from Matama Man. And Zendar's only got, I guess near the tower, he's got 8 armor, which isn't actually that bad. But, yeah, the thing is that Matama Man, unless he goes for, oh my god, the damage. As we see bottom and mid, 2 different dives going on at once.
They want Nisha. They hit him with the roll in from the Earth Spirit, and Nisha should be going down. He does manage to juke the stroke of fate.
dead bottom.
Yep, Blizzy goes down. Can Nisha find himself out of this one? Swashbuckles away, and he's going to survive a really nice sidestep. Showing his mechanics there, dodging PPD's brushstroke.
This is a lot to learn from the way NIP is playing. You have to enable this Timbersaw to be aggressive, setting up that catapult to do as much damage to the tower as possible. And then on the flip side, seeing how Secret handles it is really good as well. Actually really enjoying what both teams are doing so far this game. But he doesn't have mana for Rolling Thunder, so he's most likely going to go down, which he does. And complete and utter bloodbath in the mid lane. But look at this tower bottom. Wraith King Coddle takes a 6-minute tower. And there's actually so much to learn when you watch Secret, because instead of dealing with this Timbersaw directly, they try to manage the damage, right? They're trying to not make sure they lose their tower mid, even though they're feeding away some heroes. But in the meantime, they're capitalizing on what else is going on in the other lanes, since NIP is dedicating so many resources. So some problems in Dota have to be addressed directly. Heroes like Timbersaw, better to address them indirectly at this stage in the game where you just cannot kill them.
And that's one of, to me, the most impressive things about Secret is they win games in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
And we're going to see the Hawk getting rotated in on the top lane. The Rolling Thunder coming into play, gets back to the safety of his tower, but now he dodges the roll with a salve. And it's going to be likely Milan going down instead. The Swashbuckle's going to hit. Throws out the slow, and Milan may still survive. The bottle giving Nisha a bit more mana here. The Ice Shard's going to block off Milan. He does manage to roll his way out of there, though, so he gets back to safety, and Nisha wasting a lot of time rotating here. Really needs to find a kill. The Inkswell, though, going to deter any kind of initiation from Secret, who are going to find Dahak in the Sprout, and Dahak may have overcommitted here. He's got the Strength Turrets, and with the help from the Earth Spirit, he may be able to get himself out of this one. Another Stroke of Fate's going to slow them down, get Secret really low, and they're committing a lot to this, and not really getting a whole lot out of it.
But what they are getting is that Wraith King, he's hitting creeps.
Yes.
Like a boss, and this Gyro is busy fighting people. So that's what they are doing this for. And even if it seems this is what the best teams in the world do. They do things where even if nothing happens, whatever is going on elsewhere is to their benefit. Yeah. And Tanner doing the best he can to pressure mid, but notice the resource distribution coming out from Secret, right? You take the fight to the Gyro, who has no desire to be participating in this right now. You put the Coddle mid, you're going to lose your tower, but it's something inevitable against mid Timbersaw in an unfavorable matchup. But he's doing his best to stall, making it take as long as possible for Tanner to take this tower. And Milan's going to rotate back, pops the illusion rune.
They glyph the creep wave to keep it alive, but Puppy's got a second point in Illuminate just for this exact scenario defending mid lane. Nisha going to Rolling Thunder with the Stampede to try and help Milan escape. He manages to juke really nicely. Make sure that he doesn't get hit by the Rolling Thunder as Tanner
the juke.
Guesses wrong with the Chakram.
Expected him to go the other way. I would have too, honestly.
And I mean, I think what you're saying is really highlighted. When you see the Gyro's net worth compared to the Wraith King, it's a 1,500 gold difference. Secret not known for playing 4 Protect 1 style, but that's kind of what this is. They're just enabling this Wraith King to have a completely free game.
Yeah, they just understand Dota really well, and I'm going to be honest, I don't even think NIP's doing anything wrong. I think they're playing their lineup really well. They kind of have to help their Gyro early. Blizzy's kind of left to his own devices, and Secret's just punishing him in a way that's kind of required to do when they're ganking your top lane like this. And holy crap, with the Tusk tag team, he crits for 500 damage.
Yeah, that's painful. And he gets the last hit on the kill. Very close to what's going to be an incredibly fast Radiance, I imagine, on Matu's Wraith King. And Secret more than happy with the state of this game.
He's going to be almost 6,000 net worth 10 minutes into the game. That is scary.
Could Dahak have fought better in this top lane with Rocket Barrage, or do you
I
think this was the right
absolutely.
decision?
I don't think he could have. I think
you're playing against the Treants, which often soak up the damage, I guess.
Yeah, the Treants plus Tusk tag team is just too overwhelming compared to the damage output that you will be dishing. And like I said, I even think that's a good adjustment to go for the max flat cannon. I don't know about 0 points in Rocket Barrage with 2 points in Rocket. That's a bit strange to me. I think in the mid game you could easily participate with max Rocket Barrage, but he's kind of committed all out for this max flat cannon, and I'm not 100% confident either way. We'll definitely see how it plays out for him. It is great for farming as compared to it used to be. 1 less attack per charge, but you get it twice as often, going from a cooldown of 40 seconds to 20.
I mean, it's a farming tool, but it's not going to allow you to keep up with a Wraith King who's got skeletons and all the sustaining
absolutely
he's
not,
got.
yeah.
So.
Especially when he has just that much more net worth and higher levels from early on in the game. It doesn't even matter if your toolkit's technically better for farming when Wraith King's level 10, almost level 11, and you're level 7.5.
Yeah. And the NIP support's been so busy with all the action, there haven't been that many stacks for the Gyro, except for what he's made for himself. So we'll see Secret mix things up. Matu TPs to the top lane, I think realizing that bottom is a bit too dangerous for him, and he'd also farmed out most of the jungle. So he's going to go take the camps up top, maybe even look to invade that enemy jungle and set up a new home base there.
They're going to smoke on NIP. Looks like they're trying to enable their Timbersaw even further, bringing at least 2 cores, maybe 4 heroes bottom. Meanwhile, Dahak TP's mid to defend. Pretty good map movements from both teams, mirroring each other. Standard movements where both teams go to the opponent's dead lane, taking the tier 1 tower in the safe lane. And as Secret's already taken that one, it's only natural that NIP will also do the same rotation.
Well, NIP now realizing they've taken the tier 1 mid. They're going to focus their efforts more around this middle lane with their smoke.
Dahak has a defusal queued up.
Okay.
Is this Thompson incarnate?
Against, the Wraith King. Want to pose that kill threat early on and perhaps play a bit faster pace. You mentioned he's going to need some more points in the Rocket Barrage, which he's now skilled up for the first time at level 8. It does make life a little bit difficult for the Wraith King.
Yeah, it's just I think they also need the pipe on the Timbersaw, because this Wraith King Radiance, you're just not going to be able to kill him fast enough by the time that burn really adds up for heroes like Gyro. Puppey forced to Will-O-Wisp defensively bottom. Once again, NIP, this is really good from them, right? Play around your Timber, enable him to pressure these towers. Yep. But man, this Coddle is such a nuisance. They don't really care about using this Will-O-Wisp because they don't care about fighting until they get this Radiance, which is only somehow 500 gold away. I thought it was going to be a bit later, but we've been only talking about time and time again how good of a start Matumbaman has had. And Zai also takes top tier 2. God, this is how you play around Timber, man. It's so perfect to watch. This is exactly like, it seems like he's doing everything right on Tanner as we see a dive bottom onto Puppey.
They finally punish Puppey. Last time he had the Will-O-Wisp to help him get out. This time around, no defense except for Matu's TP. Matu's come in with backup. Yaps are going to block in Milan, although he does manage to roll out for the ice shards. They've lost the center, and with Zai's TP in and the Sprout Trap, they're going to get a second kill as well. Secret, ready to fight, happy to punish the dive on the poor Keeper of the Light.
Everything NIP is doing makes sense, and everything Secret's responding with is just clean, as Dahak also dies in the river, with Zai going for a first item Blade Mail after the Vlads. I like this build a lot from Zai. I don't think you need any pick-off, this Orchid kind of stuff. I think you just need the ability to group up and force down objectives once you get this Radiance timing, because that's going to be scary being 13 minutes into the game. And this is what I was talking about, that Tusk tag team in the mid-game. Is it enough? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Looks like Tanner, this is the kind of fight he wants to take. We've seen Secret mostly avoiding the Timbersaw. Perhaps something they need to reconsider as they do still lose their mid-tier 1 tower, but they make it a second kill for this moment and
and a third kill with that Grim.
Great soulbind onto 2 with the silence there. The Swashbuckle going to be coming back up, and it looks like Nisha's actually going to turn and fight.
Just full
oh my god, Zai just obliterates him with the Vlads and the sustain that he's got. He's just so damn tanky as the Timber Chain away from town. He's just trying to save his life, but he's being chased down by the Pangolier, and Nisha should have this kill. Needs another Swashbuckle. Puppy's going to find him, but not sure he can do a whole lot about it. The TP out.
Oh, I think he could have seen that TB, but it was a tough call to make, and obviously a very long cooldown to expend if he happens to not be TB.
Yeah.
Seems like everything's just going the way of Secret, and the funny thing is, this is why it's so beautiful to watch teams of their caliber, and I know I've just been fanboying all game, is it doesn't seem like NIP has really done anything wrong.
Yes. We're talking about off-stream, like, where watching Secret crush these games in 20 minutes is actually entertaining.
Yes.
Unlike maybe the previous series where it was so
It felt like it got
draft-dependent.
handed to them. I am honestly no qualms with how NIPs made their rotations this game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he tried to block him with the Ironwood tree. That would have been funny. Who was that? That's a Zai move. Yeah, it's a Zai move for sure. I instantly checked his inventory. I'm like, that's something Zai would totally do. If that had worked, that would be on Reddit for sure.
Oh, man. And they're all itemizing to enable this Wraith King now. They've got the Vlads, the Medallion coming out on the Nature's Prophet. Likely see the Solar Crest being built. They're going to be ready to end this game in 20 minutes.
Yeah, Maelstrom done on Pango. Does go for the full Maelstrom.
Puppy could be in some trouble. He's got backup, though. And with the backup, he may be the one punishing Milan here.
Maxed out roll, so it's pretty low cool. Oh, they force him. Nice freaking blinding light from Puppy.
I think sometimes people forget how mechanically skilled Puppy can be as well.
Puppy and PPD are two of the most mechanically skilled captains that I've ever watched myself. They're both very good at pressing buttons properly, as we see NIP trying to contest this outpost, even though it's only 16 minutes.
They have the homing missile, but Nisha should be all right. He's going to swashbuckle to the low ground, looking for the haste room, but...
There's 2 heroes dead. He's not particularly scared of anything.
And hey, yeah, you're top high ground. Matu's here with Skelly Bros. The Timbersaw is going to show up and be able to clear those out. Yeah, he gets his Timber Chain cancelled. The Will-O-Wisp is going to pull him back in. He dies instantly. Has got buyback, but you really don't want to commit a buyback this early on. He's going to do so. They need to kill this Wraith King, I feel. They've
Just
taken out 1 life. Can they kill him the second time? You mentioned they need to disengage. They've lost Blazer. The Illuminate going to wipe out most of the Hack's health as well with Pangolier swashing his way in. This is looking hopeless for NIP, who are just running out of options.
Yeah, something told me in the draft when Secret saw this last big Timbersaw that they were just like laughing to themselves, saying like, this guy thinks he's got a free Timbersaw game, and we're just going to dodge him and stall him for the first 15 minutes of the game and then just kill him twice, or kill him once, excuse me, and the game's over. It's something that's really hard to do, the way Secret's been playing, but I've watched teams like of their caliber play against Timbersaw enough times to know that it's just pretty straightforward if you watch it come into fruition. And it's just, they have the Aegis on Pango, going for the Ags, going for complete luxury items on him. Solar Crest almost done on the Prophet. This Tusk hero, it pretty much eliminates these strength core tank heroes. You just can't tank when every hero on the enemy team's hitting for an extra 100 damage. That's just so much at this stage in the game. Coddle only hits for 77, ignoring the Philosopher's Stone. Prophet only hits. Prophet actually hits for 200. What the hell? That's without his. That's without his ultimate. Actually,
Blade Mail is just so much bonus damage for these int heroes.
Yeah,
that
it's
can
really
use
value item. It's only 2,000 gold. The new Crystallis apparently.
Yeah. It's fantastic too when you get value from the actual Blade Mail active, and against Gyrocopter, that was like one of the original counter items.
Yeah, he doesn't have money for BKB at this stage.
He's going to just TP on in with the Blade Mail in enemy lines. They've already killed off Blizzy's Centaur, and Secret ready for another go at this tier 3 tower, perhaps. Tanner's there on the front lines. He needs to be careful. He does not have a buyback to play around, but does have, it looks like, the safety of his base here. Is Secret going to swing their way to this tier 2 mid lane? It just feels like anything NIP do is just not enough, and it's all a bit futile right now.
If I'm someone like Tanner that's new to the pro scene, this just has to be like such a humbling experience to be like, I made all the aggressive moves on Timber. I've practiced this. I played aggressively in lane. I was 2 levels ahead of the guy in the mid lane, and now we just lost. Like, it has to be humbling in some way, because it's definitely humbling to watch it. Because Dota...
Or you take the pub approach, I blame my teammates.
that
You guys
works
fed
too.
top. I crushed my lane. This game's not on me, guys.
Yeah, that works too. I'm always down for that approach. I myself employ that one a lot. I guess that's why I don't have any teammates anymore.
I mean, who needs teammates? That's what solo queue's for.
Exactly.
No, of course, Tanner, not that kind of player from what I've seen of him.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Blizzy.
Not been a very nice game for him.
He's just trying to get a blink, man.
Yep.
That looks a lot like my pubs when I'm in the offlane, what Blizzy's been experiencing thus far.
Matu with this Blink Dagger going for this all-in aggression, knowing that they can just keep on running, finding these kills. Dahak has no plays available to him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see an early GG at this point. It just feels like there's nothing NIP can do. 17k gold. We're 19 minutes in, and Secret's making this look easy.
Surprisingly, the only really strong team of this tournament that makes us like really convinced that they belong as the strongest team in the tournament, Secret. You know, OG dropping a game to Bait yesterday. A lot of these series, they've been close, and even you said in the draft where first round banning Blizzy's main hero Axe, they ain't screwing around. Secret is not here for entertainment. They are here to put on a clinic and to pummel these guys into the ground. As we see Milan does get the outpost first team, but oh my god, Yapsor, such a good prediction from him. Actually just waiting for Milan to roll out, says, here's my open arms to punch you with, sir. Yeah. As he rolls straight in. That was actually, it's not, oh man, it's like he's going to get away. And then there's just a Tusk waiting for him on his escape path. It's actually just.
I think Tusk was also going for the bounty rune. I mean, obviously there was a combination of factors. Hey, bounty rune and there's a fleeing hero.
I always like to say hey, he was just going for something else. And then it just happens too often with these guys that I always assume that whatever happened was intentional.
I mean,
because it's just coincidences with these level of players are just, there would be too many of them to, I would call myself too skeptical of their skills. But AC being worked on by Matumba Man, the end seems quite nigh for NIP.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about Secret, the best team in the tournament. I think it's also fair to say the best team in the world right now. They did lose the last grand finals they played, but even taking that into account, I don't think many people will disagree they should be considered the best team in the world.
What grand finals did they lose?
The we played, they lost 3-2 to Enigma.
Oh, okay.
The LAN there.
Okay.
That was the last big LAN they played.
I just remember the major.
Okay. Yes, they won the last major, but here we are. The end is near for NIP. They managed to take down the Tusk, a small consolation prize. You can see the GG bet odds there, just managing to sneak their way in before perhaps a potential GG call.
Was that a free $1 on my $1,000 bet, or what was
like I saw 1 for 12 there,
Oh,
or like
I'd take that.
1.0 something maybe. I didn't actually see what it was, but I think, okay. It's, if there's any bets still open, it's time to place them on Team Secret over at GG Bet.
I don't know. Maybe they throw. Cap.
Huh?
I've been saying cap more since we have capitalists here. But, speaking emotes in 2020, that's just BSJ's cringe things. As we have a last-ditch attempt, it appears. They haven't even lost a lane of Rax yet, but I don't know. Timbersaw dieback technically.
Secret just looks so good.
Yeah, double the net worth of anybody on NIP.
As a team, they're all on the same page, and then individually, looking at Nisha, for example, mechanically he's been so amazing this game, the way he laned against the Timbersaw in an unfavorable matchup. He's dodging spells all over. He's really pushing his hero to the limit. Same for what we saw from Zai. How do you beat this team? What's the secret to taking down Team Secret?
I'm sure only they know at this stage in the game, or stage in
maybe
year.
OG knows. That could be a
I can't wait for that
series
at some point, yeah.
I guess we don't. They're in
Smoke
different
from
groups,
NIP.
so not something we will see till the playoffs, I imagine.
Matama Man fearless. Just 3 shots basically to Hawk there with the Solar Crest.
Yep.
NIP,
they're playing it all out, which to me at least suggests
respect.
Yeah, I can respect that for sure. They're giving it that last hurrah. They're going to go charging in, trying to get to the back lines of Team Secret, but just unable to do so. The Rolling Thunder's out now as well, causing problems. The Hawks pull back. So this should be the end of poor Gyro, who just never could finish this BKB. And
I think we're going to see more and more Tusk. After the few of the games yesterday, even with OG in the game they lost, Tusk was really far behind as a core, and it still looked very potent. And here, Yapsor just...
Did he drop boots? Someone's saying boots were dropped.
Yeah, I guess somebody dropped items. Yeah. It just feels like every hero on NIP was paper. Even though it's like a Centaur and a Timbersaw, they all just melt. And a lot of it was just the tag team.